Hi everyone, this is Adri from Rise High Financial Solutions, and today we are with James Schulze. We're here to talk to you about all things cashback from loans. So we will be discussing what they are, how they work, the eligibility criteria that you need to keep in mind, and we'll be sharing as well some different client scenarios for refinance and when you're looking to purchase your first home, as well as some tips and tricks. So James, would you like to first tell us what are lender cashbacks?
Sure, thanks Adri. So just very briefly, a lender cashback is an incentive that the lenders are offering to potential customers. It's a bit like dangling a carrot, trying to win their business. So it's an incentive for the customer to come to that bank for their home loan, and in return they'll receive a cashback, so like a cash payment into their bank account. So, cashbacks can be for, like you said, for refinances. So if you're refinancing your home loan, you could be eligible for a cashback. If you're purchasing a new property, whether you're a first home buyer or you're purchasing your second or third property, you could be eligible for a cashback. And there are new things coming to market as well for green home loans and for people that have solar panels and things like that, where they could potentially be eligible for further cashbacks from different lenders based on whether they meet those eligibility criteria.
Okay, awesome. So those are definitely like great resources for Australians now that interest rises have been affecting obviously like our budgeting. So how do these lender cashbacks work? And like what eligibility criteria do we need to keep in mind when we're choosing to get a loan cashback offer?
Yeah, good question. So the cashbacks are normally a fixed dollar amount. So the lender will offer a potential cashback, let's say a $4,000 cashback. So that's fixed at $4,000, and it will depend on whether you meet their eligibility criteria or not. Each bank, not all banks offer cashbacks. It's only a select few banks that do it, and each of those banks has a different type of eligibility criteria, such as the loan amount. So it could be for a certain eligibility you need to have a loan more than $200,000, whereas some lenders you need to have a loan more than $500,000. With other lenders, you need to have a loan more than $1 million, so it can scale and vary, but also your loan to value ratio. I won't go into too much detail about that now, but if your loan is 80% or below, then that's normally a requirement for the cashback as well. Yep.
Yeah, so it normally would depend on the product, like the loan product that you're choosing. Correct. And how much you're choosing to borrow.
Correct.
And obviously, like depending on how much you're choosing to borrow, what lender would like suit you best in terms of like loan cashback offers.
Yep, that's right.
Awesome.
And sorry, just to jump in as well. Yep. So these cashbacks do have set time frames. So it could be a special offer that the banks put out for a month, and then at the end of that month, that cashback offer will expire and will no longer be available. So it's about timing as well. So you've got to be aware of what cashbacks are available. And some of them aren't available to the general public either. So you need to make sure you've got a really good broker in your team that understands and is across all of the cashbacks that are available, so that you ensure that you can get the best possible outcome for yourself.
Yeah, I think that's a really important point, James, because obviously like with the different offers changing all the time, you definitely want to have a professional that's like keeping up to date with all of these changes.
Absolutely.
So that you then get the best offer for your current circumstances.
Absolutely.
So you mentioned that with loan cashbacks, it's a fixed amount. So then when does the user usually, the client usually receive this cashback?
Yeah, so once the loan settles, normally within 4 to 6 weeks after settlement, that cashback amount will be paid into their bank account.
Okay, awesome.
And that's something that's important to follow up, make sure you actually get paid. And that's part of our job for our clients, is to follow up and make sure that gets processed properly and doesn't get forgotten.
Yeah, I think that's like one of the good things of like Rise High, that we obviously like take care of that to make sure that once we have like secured a cashback offer, that after settlement we'll have like those 4 to 6 weeks, and then we'll make sure that the process that goes through, and if not, we can follow up with the lender to make sure that happens. Awesome. So for like very specific, like more specific scenarios, so things like refinance cashbacks,
yes.
What do we need to keep in mind?
Yeah, so when you refinance, so obviously if you've already got a home loan, you're looking at your options. If you're looking to switch lenders and you're considering a cashback offer as an incentive, it normally costs, let's say, up to $1,000 to switch lenders in terms of like fees. So if you can get let's say a $4,000 cashback, then that cashback really is covering your cost of switching lender of $1,000, but then there's another $3,000 that's effectively going into your pocket. So you can actually win financially from doing a refinance. Obviously there's a lot of other considerations associated with a refinance around, you know, interest rate, fees, features and other things. Cashback is only one consideration, but yeah, if you do it the right way, you can actually get money back in your pocket.
Yeah, which is definitely something like a great advantage right now that we're all probably feeling the squeeze.
Absolutely, and what we're seeing is a lot of people are really sensitive around interest rates because they are moving and going up, and it's not ideal for anybody. Repayments are going up, so it's really important to constantly review what rate that you've got on your home loan and negotiate with your existing lender. And if they're not coming to the party and they're not willing to, you know, give you a competitive interest rate, then it's always worth looking at other options in the market. And that's where we obviously help our clients. Looking at other options in the market, looking at getting a better rate, and if we can throw in a cashback as well, then
that's
it can
money
be a
in your
really
pocket
good option.
as well.
Yeah,
Absolutely. What about if you're thinking about buying a new property, like if you're a first home buyer or maybe a property investor, or just like for people who are looking to like purchase, like get a cashback on their purchase?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is a really good incentive as well. Like if you're out there looking to buy a property, and obviously you need a loan, so you need to select a lender and apply for a home loan. If you can also get a cashback as part of that, how good's that?
Yeah, that can help you like cover other costs, or maybe even like looking into if you're purchasing a property and you're keen to make some like upgrades or something like that, you can probably use that cash instead for that, or cover like other costs like stamp duty and things like that, I imagine.
Correct.
Yeah,
so we've got a few lenders on the panel that are really good in that space. So a few that come to mind. There's one option out there in the market at the moment. So if you are buying and your loan's more than $250,000, you could be eligible for a $4,000 cashback.
Wow, that's really good.
If your loan's over $1 million, it could be a $5,000 cashback. If you're a first home buyer, you could also be eligible for a $3,000 cashback in certain circumstances. So there are some really good options out there, as long as you know where to look, find the right, those special offers that are out there.
Yeah, for like first home buyers, if they're looking to, if they're using a grant or a scheme, this would like be on top of like those savings, right? Like it would be a different like source of cashback.
Correct.
But it would also help them in terms of like getting into home ownership and like planning their journey, right?
That's right. So these cashbacks for a purchase are really just the cherry on the top. So you've got to get the loan anyway, and you've got to pay the stamp duty, etc., etc. If you can get let's say a $3,000 cashback as part of that process, great.
How good is that?
Yeah, get that into the bank account as soon as possible.
Awesome. So now, in terms of like tips and tricks that we can like consider for like thinking of like loan cashback offers, what should we keep in mind?
So tips and tricks. So one, depends on your circumstances, but one scenario that we've seen a bit recently is for some of our clients that have multiple properties. So they might have a home and say an investment property or a couple of investment properties. So we've been able to do a few refinances where they've actually received multiple cashbacks.
Oh, that's
so one in particular that comes to mind recently was a $3,000 cashback for their home, a $3,000 cashback for their first investment property, and a $3,000 cashback for their second investment property. So part of their refinancing, getting a better interest rate, getting some better features, they also got $9,000 worth of cashbacks into their bank account after settlement.
Which is really fantastic, because then they get that $9,000 upfront, but because we're also like refinancing their rate, they will also have to like be like eventually be paying less, I imagine.
So they got a better rate across the board, a better structure, better features, and the cashback. So win, win, win.
Win long term and short term.
Exactly.
Awesome. What about like with loans like structure, is there anything that we can consider as well in terms of like getting more opportunities, like more offers?
Yeah, so that eligibility criteria is really dependent on your own circumstances. Like each of our clients is different. So what we can help, because we know the tricks of the trade and we know what lenders are offering and what they're looking for. So there are some cases where if we structure the home loan a certain way, then you will be eligible for the cashback, whereas if we do it a different way, then you won't be eligible. So we're always looking at ways and opportunities to increase that eligibility so that more of our clients can get those cashbacks.
Yeah, I guess that's like why it's also so important to work with a professional that can help you look into different options, like not just the offers that are out in the market, but if you already have a mortgage loan, you can look into the different opportunities, whether it be like through structure or other things that can get you into those cashback offers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Now, there is one very important thing that we need to consider, and it is that loan cashback offers are just one element that we need to consider when choosing a home loan.
Correct.
What else do we need to consider? Like not just say yes because of the cashback, but there's obviously other factors that we need to keep in mind.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's really important. Cashbacks are great. You've also got to make sure interest rates are taken into consideration. Are you looking at a variable rate or a fixed rate? What does that look like and how does that compare to other lenders in the market and your existing lender? So that's really important. So interest rate, fees, so we need to take that into consideration as well. It's great to get a cashback, but if it's going to cost you thousands of dollars in fees, it may not be worth it.
It kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah. Features as well, that's really important. So making sure that if you are refinancing or selecting a particular lender for to get the cashback, you've got to make sure that they can offer you the features that you need in terms of your home loan and your day-to-day banking. If you need offset accounts or redraw, things like that all need to be taken into consideration as well. So we've got to make sure that the whole offer, the whole loan product and the offer makes sense, not just the cashback.
Yeah, I think that's a very important point because obviously the choice depends on like what works for you.
Correct.
Sometimes it's not just about how much you can get in cashback, but for example, with like the discussion of like having a fixed or a variable interest rate, it's also taking into consideration like, well, are you going to like have the peace of mind that you need each month, or are you going to be stressed about like the interest rates changing, which like right now they're fluctuating so much.
Well, that's right.
And with things like loan features, I understand that sometimes you can also choose a loan that has a lot of attractive features, but you might end up paying a lot more than what you probably should be paying, even if you're getting the cashback.
That's right.
Yeah, I think that's why it's really important to work with like your dedicated right-side broker.
Yeah, and looking at that total cost of the loan over the long term. So not just looking at, okay, I'll get a $3,000 or a $5,000 cashback now, but over the next 2 to 3 years, it's actually going to cost me more in interest. So it's really about understanding the true cost of the loan. We've got some really great technology that we use and the system that we use to help advise our clients. So we can look at all of the lenders and really narrow it down to the lenders that are best suited to a particular client and their situation and compare apples with apples. So we're looking at different lenders, different loan options, but we're comparing the total cost of each of those options, putting it into a really simple table, looking at features as well. So we really focus on giving our clients that information and educating them on that so that they are in a really great position to make informed decisions about what's the right fit for them moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. That kind of like gives them a really good perspective of things, because when you're comparing different offers, different lenders might have different features and things, and if you're trying to like have a look at all the different ones, it might seem like one's better, but actually you're not comparing the same kind of features.
Correct.
So I guess like that's why this sort of technology that you mentioned is really useful, and it's something we're really proud like to be able to offer our clients.
Absolutely, and we've got amazing brokers in the team that are there to work with their clients, hold their hand through the whole process to make sure that they fully understand all of their options and help manage that whole process for them. Yep,
absolutely. Well, I think that's pretty much it. So to sum up all of those points, all
Yep.
of these great points. I think we've got that like cashback offers can obviously be a really great way to get some extra cash that can help you cover some other costs
Yep.
or just save you money.
Yep.
We're all happy with like having some extra
Absolutely.
cash. But although they're not great, they are great. They're not the only factor that you need to consider when choosing a loan, and it's very important to work closely with your RiseHigh broker so that we can make sure that you get the best offer for your circumstances and your personal financial conditions.
Yep.
I really think it is priceless to get that advice and having
Yep.
a professional that can support you every step of the way, as you
Absolutely.
mentioned. So our team at RiseHigh are very, very excited to help you with any of these processes, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and we'll see you in our next live.